Hello there, this is Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. It is Friday afternoon, the 15th day of August, 2025. I'm going to take a look at the markets as we always do, but we're also going to take a little deeper dive into the AI screener that I am employing. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But we always start by saying the video presentation is intended for educational purposes only. The discussion of any security is not a recommendation to purchase or sell the security. I'm always available, Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. How many times, this is a trick question, how many times have I said inflation will start to show up in the numbers in August and September? Well, this is from Reuters News. I believe this was yesterday. It said US producer inflation heats up as goods and services prices soar. Um, this is from Financial Times in London. U.S. wholesale prices jump 3.3% as Trump trade war hits the economy. It's happening right at the time I suspected it would. Here's Bloomberg. More data shows the government shows inflation reigniting because of the U.S. trade war, and so on and on and on. It's happening. Inflation is going to kick up. It is going to get worse. Um, the Fed will be meeting to talk about potentially lowering rates. If I were Jerome Powell, or if he called for my advice, which funny enough, he never does, I would tell him not to lower rates. You don't lower rates when you have inflation. So let's get to AI. We've talked enough about inflation and tariffs for the last few weeks. They're ridiculous and they're starting to hit home. I'm even seeing some red state governors calling up on Trump and saying, our farmers are dying. They're going out of business. And it's for two reasons. One reason that many farmers are really in trouble is the tariffs. That's one reason, but one of the bigger reasons is their workers. Their workers are people come across the border, mostly illegally, just to work and send money back to their families. That's all they're doing. And they're so afraid now that our farmers are leaving food to rot. Now, some may say, well, good, they're here illegally. They should be afraid. They should go back. Fair enough. I get that. I'm somebody who loves the law, but they pick our food, and you're not going to have any food if they're not here to pick it. They clean our hospital beds. They clean our nursing homes. They clean our hotels. They do work that you and I generally don't want to do. So it's not a good thing right now. But anyway, our brand new AI, artificial intelligence stock screener is here and it is live. Our first stock pick was Rigel, RIGL, and it is up about 10% in 3 days. Actually, now it's been 5 days. Not all of the stocks will be like this, but that's a really good start. That was our very first one. So let me show you how I managed that trade because it's different from other ways of managing trades. So I bought the position on Monday, 8/11. And then I sold about 25% of the position at what I call the first profit target. I sold about 50% of the position, of the remaining position, at profit target number two. And then I sold the final shares at profit target number three. And that one happened today. The net result was we were up 11.6% in 5 trading days. So that trade worked out really, really well. But one trade does not make a trend. It was just a very nice first impression. Um, so we are out of that position, but let me go forward and explain how we do lock in profits along the way. Like I said, the system gives me a list of stocks, and then when I choose a stock that I want to buy, then the system will then give me price targets, three different price targets. And I will sell about 25% of our position at target one, about 50 of the rest of the stock at target two, and the remainder at price target three. Now, In a couple of months, after I've had time to build a track record, it is possible that I may add a small trailing stop to the final shares, which means we take our profit, and then the rest of it, maybe I put in a little trailing stop and see how far it'll ride up. I don't know that we're going to do that yet, but we'll see. It is under consideration. Currently, like in that first trade, I only used 2% of your portfolio value as the allocation to the trade. And I'm going to continue doing that for a little while. After a number of these trades, if we see consistent profits, I'll probably increase the allocation for each trade, potentially between 3 and 5%. So maybe we go from 2% per trade to 3% per trade. Maybe we end up going 5% per trade. We probably won't go any higher than that because that's just getting greedy. But we don't have a track record yet. We just have we just have one. Now, here's one of the things that I'll be looking for to think about if I want to do a trailing stop. Excuse me. So where this line is, that white line, that was our third profit target. And we closed the trade out, the remaining shares, at $39.10. That happened this morning. Right now, the close of Friday, that stock is at 39.51. So I'm going to watch these. Now, again, this is just one stock, but I mean, if this stock and many others go up another 10, 12, 15%, if that becomes the occurrence, the natural occurrence, then yes, I will put a trailing stop on so that we can ride that all the way up. But look how parabolic this rise is. It's almost straight up. Parabolic rises don't last, period. They don't last. They never do. And I would expect it to come back down. So we're going to watch this and see how to play it. But obviously, we want to squeeze as much profit out of every trade as we can. But we also don't want to be foolish or greedy. But I will keep pictures of every trade I make, especially when they close, and see what happens after they close. I hope that makes sense. The single most important thing to know is whether the market's going up or down. Everything follows from there, which you know. Let's take a look at our matrix. This is as of today. It's all good. It's all good. This right here, this VIX number of 15 or 14.99 is really terrific. It just means there's not a lot of excessive fear in the market, and that's when markets generally go up. So I'm pleased with what I'm seeing here. I don't see anything more that I need to comment on. Here's the S&P 500. It's a little bit light right now. It's hard to see the linear regression, but the red line is the mean of the linear regression, and then the blue lines are two standard deviations above and below. And right now, the S&P looks fine. On a daily chart, you see this kind of pink line. That was an area of resistance. We broke the resistance, and now we're kind of sitting on it, which is fine. If it starts to move back up, that's a very bullish thing that can happen because then we will have tested this now as support and hopefully we'll bounce off of it. If I look on the weekly chart, which is a little bit more important, of course, we've broken these areas of resistance clearly. We came down and tested it a couple of weeks ago, and then it started its way up. That is exactly what we want to see. If you follow the white line, you can see the white line was going up, and then 1 week it fell back down right to that new area of support and bounced. That's textbook technical analysis. That's exactly what you want to see. So when things look this good and we have some weak or down days, they don't phase me at all. They're just part of trading and just part of the process. Stocks don't go up every day. So that's looking good. If I look over at the Qs, we're seeing kind of the same thing. We broke through resistance. We're sitting back on it. I think it will go higher. Everything looks the same. I'm not really having any issues with what I'm seeing. We are losing some volume. If I were to see any negative, we are losing volume, which means we're going to start losing momentum. But that's okay. We had a nice strong run. If it goes sideways for a few weeks, that'll be just fine. Okay. CLS. CLS has been a real winner for us. I have an alert, and the alert fired this afternoon, and we're sitting at that alert. So what I did was I put in a live stop just below this blue area of support. Let me see what that is doing here. See if I can turn that off. So if the stock breaks through this level of support right here, we're going to sell it and we'll be out. Um, I don't know if it will. I'm feeling hopeful, optimistic that the price comes down to here and bounces and heads back up. You can see that we're in this trading range. Here's support, there's resistance. I'm fine with that. So I put my stop below support, below the 20-day moving average, and slightly below the consolidation zone, very slightly. So we'll either get stopped out and we'll have a very nice profit and we may go into it again, or we won't get stopped out and this thing will keep running. Um, Excelsius has been a weak, that's been one of our weakest stocks. And you can see I have an alert here. We have not hit the alert. And then I have a live stop underneath that area of support. Now, look at how sideways this thing has been going. Just sideways. When you have a consolidation like that, only one of two things can happen. We can break out to the upside or we can break out to the downside. And I'm really, just based on technical analysis, it looks like it's going down. But when I look at all the fundamental analysis and the Wall Street analysts and the earnings and all of those things that are important behind the scenes, they all look really good. Nothing looks bad. That's why I'm giving this so much space. All of our other stocks are doing fine. I think I'll leave you with that. I did enter one more AI stock just the other day. We went in right here at $42.52, and we are now at $42.69. So we are up a smidge, I think is what they call that. But this is the second AI stock that we're in. And then the third one, we're waiting for it to trigger. It hasn't hit its trigger point yet. So things are fine. We are in August, and August, September are normally pretty miserable months, but they may not be this year. And AI, the screener that I'm using, takes all of that into consideration. And the screener can look at charts and do its own technical analysis. So it's doing a lot. It's really a robust system, but we'll see. We'll see how well it performs, and we'll make adjustments along the way. For right now, I'm kind of buying one stock a week from this AI, but we'll see. We'll see what happens because you now have a second one. We've sold the first one, and we will manage it properly. So that's a story. Have a great weekend. Um, Enjoy whatever stuff you're doing. I hope it's not too hot where you are. It's pretty rainy and windy out here right now. And just have a nice weekend, and we will be back at this Monday morning. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.